So today we're taking a look at Warlock by Jim Starlin, the Gallery Edition. This is a big giant hardcover. I'll show some pics here. I'll show the cover first and the back cover, and then we'll take a look at some comparison shots so you can see how it scales with other editions. This has a cover price of $50. Of course, it's Marvel, 368 pages. It's still available. I'll put some buy links down below to some trusted vendors where you can take a look at it. Uh, Size comparison wise, here it is against a regular comic book. And now here it is with an omnibus. Now this shot here is with a slipcase DC Absolute. Uh, Shot doesn't show it very well, but it's just a little bit taller than the slipcase box. This shot here shows the spines compared, and you can see really much better how they line up. So you can see the Marvel Gallery editions are actually a little bit taller, a little bit bigger all the way around than a DC Absolute. So it's a really nice size. It's not so large that you can't get it in a good size shelf like these, but it's close. You know, if you, I'm not sure how it would go with the IKEA ones. You'd have to check it out, but it's a little taller than an Absolute in a slipcase. The copy I got has great build quality. Spine is really strong, nice sewn binding, just nice. Didn't have any problems with it. Reading it opens up nice, and it let me do a lot of scans, which you'll see, and you're already seeing here. Beautiful scans. I had to lay like flat on the platen and let the side hang down. I mean, I held it with one hand to kind of support it, you know. But yeah, it held up well. Solid build. So, talk a little bit about Jim Starlin here. I mean, if you've been a comics fan for any amount of time, especially Marvel, and I probably don't have to tell you who Jim Starlin is, but you never know who's going to watch or who isn't going to watch. So I'm going to go over Jim Starlin. But he is another legendary figure. I mean, that's almost all that I feature. But writer, penciler, often an inker. Sometimes he even colors the stuff himself. Another one of those figures like John Byrne that can do it all and can do it all very, very well. He's known for a lot of cosmic Marvel stuff. He kind of helped build the entire fabric of what we know as the cosmic Marvel universe. And I mean, he did The Death of Captain Marvel, which was Marvel's very first graphic novel, and that is a award-winning book right there. And he's known by many for Dreadstar and a lot of the creator-owned properties he did. And Dreadstar is another space opera type epic. He saved Warlock, which Adam Warlock was a character that Marvel. It's like they didn't really know what to do with him. I mean, they didn't really know what to do with Captain Marvel either when Jim Starlin took it over and just saved it. I mean, before ultimately he kills him in Death of Captain Marvel, but he was good at taking characters that were sort of discarded and no one really knew what to do with, and he would just give it the cosmic treatment and blow everyone's minds. He created Gamora, character featured in the Marvel movies, and of course Thanos. Everybody knows he's the guy that created Thanos. Pip the Troll, Star Fox, the Magus, the Universal Church of Truth. That's something he came up with, and that's still being used in plot lines today and in the films. More to come on that, I'm sure. He was basically, I like to call him the cosmic Marvel architect. I mean, he built a lot of the high concepts that everyone plays with still to this day. Writers, artists, directors, filmmakers, they owe a lot to Jim Starlin. So this gallery edition, it's a big one. It collects Strange Tales 178 through 181, Warlock 9 through 15, Avengers Annual 7, Marvel 2-in-1 Annual number 2, and this is all stuff from 1975 through 1977. So in a little over 2 years, Jim Starlin did a lot. I mean, like I said, he built the whole cosmic platform, more or less. I mean, some of the stuff existed before he got a hold of it, but he just took it places No one can imagine. I mean, still to this day, you look through this thing. I mean, you're seeing the scans now. I'm rolling them through, and where he came up with some of these designs for characters and places and concepts. I, I can't imagine. I mean, I have jokingly, although I mean semi-jokingly, suggested that hallucinogenic drugs were involved, but I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. I mean, the era was certainly right. I mean, I even toyed around with the idea of doing a that '70s show style cold open for this video. I was gonna burn some incense and some candles and get the room all smoked up and have my executive producer wife, come in and catch me reading Warlock again. And I was gonna have psychedelic lights and the whole 9 yards. And I ended up scrapping the idea. I mean, she thought it sounded a little cornball, and also I could not find any tie dye that I could tie around my head. I wanted a bandana there, but I don't know. I may use the idea some other time. But the story, I mean, it's a space opera. Is what it is. I mean, this has the first appearances of Gamora, first appearance of Pip the Troll, first appearance of the Magus, Universal Church of Truth. Um, it's a crazy space opera. It's full of existential nightmares and psychological overtones, and I mean, it's heady stuff. It's really out there, but it's such a spectacle. You just can't look away. I mean, the art is so colorful and just leaps off the page and grabs you by the throat and pulls you through these crazy worlds. I mean, I the only thing as immersive and crazy and out there. I mean, it's like Steve Ditko's Doctor Strange stuff, but turned up to 20. I mean, I love it. It's so far out there. I mean, I don't know how do you even describe it. Just take a look at this. It's a mess, but it's a beautiful mess. I mean, the world building, the architecture, and the crazy alien races, and they're just crammed in there too. I mean, some of these scenes have massive casts. It's great stuff. I mean, the Magus. How can you explain the Magus? He's um, he's Adam Warlock's bad side, but pulled out and given a physical manifestation. You know, um, I mean, we've seen some stuff like that played out in stories before, but not the way Jim Starlin does it. I mean, it's fabulous. I had read some of this material in singles years ago when I could find them, when they weren't super expensive, and I always loved it. And I mean, I hear people say, "Well, can I get into this as a new reader?" Well, when I was young, most of this stuff had been around for years, and we would just stumble across it and start reading it. We had no idea what the hell was going on, especially with crazy stuff like this. I mean, but they fill in some things. They they kind of give you a little intro and a little backstory. And back then, they would be sure to include, see this issue here and this that to see what they'd give you a little guidance if you wanted to go hunt it down. But you got to start somewhere, and sometimes you just got to jump in and start reading. I mean that's what most of us did for years. Collected editions weren't around. There wasn't a collected edition meant you went and found all the singles and put them all together so you could read the whole story. You know, that's easier said than done, though. But yeah, this is pretty complete though, in that it shows the entire saga as far as when Jim Starlin started and where he took it to. He writes all of the contents. He draws everything. He inks quite a bit of it. I'll have credits running showing you which ones he didn't ink of the scans I'm running here. But yeah, it's a crazy, crazy story. But man, is it good. So yeah, this is another 9-star book for me. It would be 10. I really debated a long time whether this was a 9 or a 10. I mean, to me, it's just a perfect, beautiful mess of comic book artistry, and so on the one hand, it's a 10, but on the other hand, I knock a little bit off because it is really far out there. I mean, some of it's pretty hard to grasp exactly what he's saying here. I mean, you get enough of it, it's very enjoyable, but it is far out. It's it's out there, but I love it. The art is so beautiful. I'm an art guy first. I mean, this thing, I'll be honest with you, it could be written in some language that I can't even read. And if it looked like this and the storytelling, the visual storytelling was the way it is here, I'd still enjoy it, even if I couldn't read a word. So I know a lot of people nowadays are the other way around. They're writing oriented first and then the art matters. But for me, the art is still number one. You know, if something has terrible art but awesome writing, a lot of times I still can't get through it. But the opposite is true for me also. The writing could suck. I mean, not saying this sucks. It does not suck at all. Uh, but if the art is good enough, it can pull me along anyway. But yeah, uh, it, this edition, having the gallery edition and being able to see such beautiful art this large, this is very close to the size they were generally drawn at. I think they used like 11 by 17 Bristol board, something like that. So this is very close to original size, which is really awesome to see. So yeah, this thing is still in print. Like I said, I'll have links down below where you can still buy it. So, you know, it's $50 cover. Of course, you can get a lot cheaper than that. So, yeah, this one is easily obtainable. And if you're interested in Adam Warlock or Thanos or any of the big cosmic stuff that Starlin did, pick this one up. Next week, I'm back on Monday, April 11th, and I'll be doing the Ultimate Spider-Man Omnibus Volume 1. I just got my reprint of that. I had read the material before, but I'll do an overview of that Omni and tell you what I think about that. Of course, it's another great one. I don't do bad ones here, but if you want to check it out, come on back.